The higher-ups said Alicia and Victor had made a mistake and were sent to the docks, where they were tasked with killing the zombies behind the roll-up door. Soon, the cavalry arrived with new weapons for them. Looking at the spears, Victor's thoughts weren't on killing zombies, but on leading a revolt against the cavalry and escaping. Alicia pointed out the impossibility of their plan, as their enemies were armed with guns. Victor argued that they were outnumbered and could be quickly overpowered. In Alicia's eyes, Victor had never been one to take the lead. Victor explained that they had always been following others' orders, and now it was time to take control of their own destiny. Just then, Charlie discovered something inside. They entered to find Dakota hiding in a vehicle. Dakota explained that her eavesdropping was unintentional, but she needed to escape. She offered to help them overthrow Virginia, revealing that Virginia was her sister. This revelation confused them even more. Victor took Dakota to a secluded spot to talk. Dakota said, "You're not the first to try and fight back, but if you kill the cavalry, Virginia won't let you go. Virginia will kill your friends and family if she doesn't find you." She needed their help to escape Virginia's influence. Alicia said, "What makes you think we can help you?" Dakota mentions a documentary they left behind that shows what they are capable of. Even though they are not in a good place right now, the cavalry had guns, but there was a crucial weapon behind the roller door that could change everything. Dakota didn't know what it was, but it was vital enough for her sister to send people to their deaths for it. On other matters, Dakota admitted her ignorance. Only knowing the weapon could help gain the future Virginia sought. If they get the weapon, they can overthrow Virginia. Victor couldn't understand why Dakota would oppose her own sister. Dakota revealed her intimate knowledge of Virginia's cruel deeds and even Victor's secret dealings with her. Shocked to learn Victor had kept things from her, Alicia stormed out. Victor followed, explaining his only condition for fixing the armored vehicle was to be paired with her. Alicia said she didn't need his protection. Victor confessed he wanted to be with her for his own reasons, emphasizing her as his most trusted ally for any internal sabotage. Touched by his confession, Alicia let go of her grudges. However, she insisted they couldn't risk others' lives on a reckless venture. They would decide their next move after killing the zombies and securing the weapon. Reluctantly, Victor agreed to this approach. They were soon called to fight the zombies. This time they listened to Janice's advice and used this method of controlling the zombies by herding livestock from the farm. As long as they coordinated properly, they could even achieve 0 deaths. Even the timid Sanjay joined Victor's team, eager to prove himself and earn his way back into the community. Once everything was set up, all it took was a command from Victor, and Sanjay would open the main gate. Victor now showed a semblance of leadership. He quickly left the passage and, like the other prisoners, picked up a spear, ready for the zombies' emergence. Now! At Victor's signal, Sanjay opened the roller door holding back the zombies, immediately revealing the scene behind it. Victor and the other prisoners banged on the rails to attract the zombies. Knowing they could only eliminate them one by one at the door, the timid Sanjay couldn't bear to look even for a moment. Under Victor's direction, they calmly waited for the zombies to approach. Working in pairs, they efficiently took down the zombies and quickly dragged the bodies away to prevent blockages. Those at the back took turns, making the elimination of the zombies only a matter of time. After a few minutes, the corpses of the zombies had piled up into a small hill. However, they had clearly underestimated the number of zombies behind the door. As the barrier began to shake, at the exit of the passageway, they also encountered trouble. One zombie fell down at the exit of the passageway, followed by other zombies tripping and falling. Victor urgently instructed Sanjay to close the roller door, but Sanjay, paralyzed by fear, had already disappeared. As the barrier was about to collapse, Victor quickly ordered Janice to hold it while Charlie tried to close the door. Janice and a few other prisoners managed to hold the barrier, albeit barely, but as Charlie tried to close the door, it got blocked by the bodies of the zombies. In her attempt to move them, a zombie suddenly grabbed her hair. Charlie screamed for Alicia to save her. Victor and Alicia immediately sprang into action. Alicia killed the nearest zombie from the front, while Victor provided support from above. Just as Alicia was about to pull Charlie out, her hair got tangled in the hands of a zombie, followed by another attack from behind. Charlie closed her eyes in fear, but luckily Dakota arrived just in time to kill the attacking zombie. Alicia quickly pulled up Charlie and shut the iron door, then anxiously asked if she was hurt. Charlie assured her that she was fine. As Dakota and Charlie were talking, 2 cavalrymen burst in, their mission being to find Dakota. Thinking Victor and his group meant harm to Dakota, One of the men immediately reported to Virginia that they had found her sister. Virginia said she would arrive soon. The two troopers treated Victor and the others as thugs and shouted at them to put down their weapons. And then the men were about to take Dakota by force. At this moment, Janice exclaimed that they couldn't hold back the zombies any longer. They were about to break through. Victor realized they needed to quickly clear up the zombies and retrieve the weapon inside. He told Janice to retreat and arm themselves to eliminate all the zombies. Without their resistance, the barrier was directly breached by the zombies. The zombies came out with nothing but blood and flesh in their eyes and headed towards the crowd. The two cavalrymen were forced to defend this breach temporarily. Victor again led the group in frontally attacking the zombies, methodically proceeding as before. Dakota struggled desperately, not wanting to be imprisoned again. Facing the zombies, Dakota quickly ran to the lower part of the tunnel. The cavalryman hurried to kill the nearest zombies and tried to recapture Dakota, but one of the men, in his attempt to pull Dakota out, was directly knocked down and devoured by two zombies. With too many zombies to handle, they could only temporarily block them with a plank. Alicia and the others were trapped inside, while Victor and Dakota were at another door. Alicia shouted to Victor that they needed guns, but the cavalryman's weapons were surrounded by zombies. So Victor led Dakota into the RV. There, they found the frightened Sanjay, who was too scared to speak. Victor thought of a plan and honked the RV's horn, trying to attract the zombies to their location. Victor asked if the zombies had been drawn away, and Sanjay peeked out to see the zombies still encircling the warehouse. Victor pressed the horn desperately, but the horde of zombies remained unmoved. Sanjay said it was useless. Obviously fresh flesh was more attractive. Victor had an idea. He took the dagger from Sanjay's hand, telling him to follow, and instructed Dakota to stay inside the vehicle. Sanjay questioned if Victor understood the trouble of getting involved with Virginia's sister. Victor argued that if they had eliminated the cavalrymen earlier, they could have been far away by now. But to save Alicia and the others, there was only one way.
Be a hero.
Sanjay didn't think Victor would do that. Victor proclaimed it was Sanjay's day to become a hero, then pushed him forward, shouting. Victor kicked Sanjay into the zombie horde. Smelling the blood, the zombies finally left the warehouse. Janice and Alicia were relieved of the pressure and found the weapons of the two cavalrymen. Victor coldly watched Sanjay being torn apart by zombies, revealing his true nature. It was only the presence of good people around him that had masked this side of Victor. Alicia and Janice cleared the remaining zombies with their rifles, and soon the courtyard was filled with zombie corpses. Victor remarked solemnly, "We did it." They also found Sanjay's body. Victor solemnly claimed he tried to prevent Sanjay's sacrifice, but he chose to save them, dying for their cause. Just then, Virginia's voice came over the radio, unaware of what had happened, saying she would arrive in 10 minutes. There's no time. They have to find the weapon before Virginia gets here. But despite searching the entire warehouse, there was no sign of the weapon. Dakota insisted she had told the truth. Now they're running out of time to get away. Soon, Virginia and her group arrived. Victor and the others realized the situation was grim. Virginia was relieved to see her sister unharmed, showing no concern for her fallen men. Dakota reluctantly rejoined Virginia's side. Victor stepped forward, saying they acted under his command and if anyone should be punished, it should be him. Virginia, far from angry, was actually pleased. She said Victor had accomplished what others couldn't, clearing the area. Alicia asks what the hell that means. There are no weapons here. Virginia revealed that what she wanted wasn't inside but in Victor, a true leader. Congratulations, Victor, you've just formed an army for us, she said. It turned out the zombies were Virginia's way of selecting talent. Virginia then gave Victor a badge symbolizing his status and told him it came with great power, but he and his team must be ready when she calls. Daniel also arrived with Virginia. He cleaned the syrup from Charlie's hair. Charlie asked if he really forgot everything, even the warehouse cat. She even played an instrument Daniel had taught her, hoping to jog his memory, but to no avail. Victor had the power now, but he didn't keep his acquaintances like Alicia around. He sent Alicia to a distant job and left Janice to wash clothes. They didn't understand but had no choice. Finally, Victor bid farewell to Alicia. He didn't explain his reasons, just asked her to never forget him, perhaps knowing he'd make choices they wouldn't want to see. Alicia left, and Victor faced his path alone, passing Daniel. Victor felt reflective. Daniel had once advised him to stay true to himself, but now Daniel seemed to have forgotten his past. Daniel and a cavalryman then prepared to return to the community by horse-drawn carriage. Not far out, Daniel suddenly said he forgot his scissors inside. The cavalryman, annoyed at the delay, offered to go back for them. With the man gone, Daniel leisurely got off the carriage, took out his dagger, and whistled. A responding whistle came from the darkness, and a zombie approached Daniel. As Daniel readied to strike, an axe suddenly cleaved the zombie's head. The newcomer, dressed in a trench coat and leather shoes, stood before Daniel. "Thanks, friend, if you are one," Daniel said, relaxing his guard.
"You know I am, Daniel, and I could use your help."
"You need a haircut, brother," he added with a smile. The two exchanged smiles. Looking around to ensure they were alone, Daniel laughed. "Good to see you, Morgan. I knew you were the one she was looking for."
We have a daughter. We named her Morgan.
In this post-apocalyptic world, newborns symbolize humanity's hope. Morgan gazed at the child, also named Morgan, with a fatherly smile. He had taken on the responsibility of caring for Isaac's wife, Rachel, bringing food to her every day. Rachel, looking at the food, couldn't imagine surviving the apocalypse without Morgan's help. All she could offer in return was her gratitude. A bit embarrassed, Morgan said he also brought some nutritional supplements and books for her. Rachel's expression changed when she saw one of the food items, recognizing it as something from Virginia's community. Morgan said, "I have someone on the inside. Don't worry and I'll do whatever it takes to get them out." Suddenly, Rachel asked if Morgan wanted to hold the baby. Morgan, deep inside longing to hold the little one, glanced at the knife in his hand, perhaps realizing he was no longer the same Morgan. Morgan again picked up his own broken long stick. His weapon may represent his current personality. Morgan was a tragic figure. The disaster had claimed his wife and child, twisting his character into someone fluctuating between saint and sinner. After encountering Isaac, Morgan saw his sacrifice for his family and child, inspiring him to reignite his resolve to find grace and bring his old friends to this safe haven. Though the journey would undoubtedly be hard, Morgan feared by the time he achieved this, he would be unrecognizable to them. Rachel reassured him that even if he had changed, he was still their leader. "You're like this spliced axe. You're still you, only your ways have changed." Elsewhere, Dwight and Althea arrived at a survivor community. After being taken by Virginia, they were doing the same thing as her team, convincing survivor communities to join, but this community had fallen to zombies, with no survivors. Dwight reported to the Cavalry that 15 were dead, and no one had survived, but the orders from the other end of the radio were to scavenge for supplies and determine the cause of death to prevent a similar fate in their community. It was tough being ordered to do things they didn't like. They've been to 100 of these sites, but they have no choice. They can't even run. If they lose contact, it's their friends who suffer. This was why Virginia kept them separated. To lighten their mood, Dwight found a pack of beer, and they discussed life. Just then, Althea's radio crackled with a woman's voice, saying, "The weather's clear. We're heading to the drop point for fuel, expecting to arrive in an hour." Althea was very nervous because it was her secret and she had been thinking about the woman called Isabel. She had finally found their internal communication channel and promised Isabel she wouldn't reveal her organization to anyone. Under Dwight's questioning, Althea revealed that the voice was her lover's. They frequently changed frequencies, and Althea had been tracking their conversations, guessing the location of their meeting point. Dwight said, "Why don't you go over to her then?" Althea says they have strict rules about not letting the outside world know they exist. Dwight, excitedly, encouraged Althea to seize the opportunity. "To hell with the rules," he said. "You can reach the helicopter landing site before it arrives and run away with her. Join her group." Despite not finding his own wife, Dwight was genuinely happy for Althea and urged her to bravely meet her lover. If Althea found her, they planned to use a zombie of similar size to Althea to fool Virginia, claiming she died on a mission. Motivated by Dwight, Althea decided to take the brave step. That night, they arrived at their destination, a high-rise building, the next landing site for the plane. The building was eerie, with the end as the beginning spray-painted on the walls. In the stairwell, they heard zombies behind a door. Althea opened it, and they efficiently dealt with 3 zombies. Behind the door, they found cages containing live rats, which added to the eeriness of the building. Suddenly, a zombie fell from above, but Dwight quickly dispatched it. Looking up, he heard more zombies above. It seemed they were in for a fight, but they weren't scared. They were seasoned survivors. After climbing 3 floors, they found a group of zombies blocked by furniture. They kicked open a nearby door to hide. As they closed the door, 2 people with guns confronted them. They were survivors, highly cautious. Althea explained they just wanted to reach the rooftop. Nora says you're in cahoots with the guy who flew the plane. Althea denied it. Nora goes on to say that if you think the people who landed on the roof are here to save you, you should think again, because the last person who went to the roof to see what was going on was killed. Once Nora understood they weren't associated with the helicopter, she softened her stance but questioned their filming. They were then locked in an office. Dwight and Althea disagreed on their next move. Dwight thought Althea's lover was just an ordinary person and didn't expect the danger on the rooftop. As they argued, the two earlier survivors returned, having watched their footage and mistakenly thinking Althea and Dwight were filming to help other communities. They didn't know about Virginia's brutality. Nora returned the camera and asked for their help. She led them to a floor with several dying survivors. Dwight, influenced by Morgan, couldn't stand by and do nothing. He was about to give a man some water when Althea, looking nervous, urged Dwight to leave quickly.